currently running for the HKU Senate election. I'm a year 3 Bachelor of Engineering student studying in computer science, and I'm running for the Senate election because I believe that there isn't a lot of non-local inclusion at these levels of the organizational structure of HKU. So basically, running for the Senate would mean that I'm finally introducing diversity in these top levels of the organizational structure of HKU. And it has to start from somewhere, right? So I believe the change can start from me. As a candidate for the HKU Senate election, I would like to introduce 2 key priorities in my election platform: increasing transparency and promoting diversity on campus. My first election platform includes increasing accessibility and transparency of the HKU exam database. This is basically because I myself have faced a lot of problems where I couldn't quite prepare myself with the given resources because it's a very short amount of time to study a course and then sit for the final examination. But I believe increasing access and transparency of the database will help us learn better. The second priority is increasing diversity and inclusion on campus. As a Senate member, I will ensure that there is greater diversity and inclusion on all levels of organizational structures of HKU, as well as including the governance structures as well. Basically, I would like to include cultural awareness events, maybe in association with other organizations, as well as increase resources for underrepresented groups, and efforts to recruit a more diverse assortment of students in these levels of organizational structures of HKU. I think this is a great initiative by HKU. Think about it this way. HKU is built within the heart of the city, within the heart of Hong Kong Island, where, I don't know, for me, I believe it's quite congested with all the tall buildings around me. But with the recent expansion of HKU Polkfield campus, the campus will actually now vastly increase in size, as well as there will be more areas to cover as well. In my opinion, I believe the construction of the Centennial campus was actually also a great idea, including more greenery as well as a garden for students to breathe and relax as well. There's actually more space now for the stakeholders, including the staff, students, as well as faculty members to roam around and honestly just enjoy the environment of HKU now. It is also a good initiative to give the HKU Business School a whole complex, because it was about time, right? Because HKU Business School has actually achieved great feats in since its establishment. Furthermore, I believe the establishment of the sports complex will also ensure that students will now not have to commute all the way to Stanley Hall, because this was very difficult before, but now it's going to be much easier since it's much closer now. I believe that this is a great initiative by HKU. The university has imposed a temporary ban on the use of ChatGPT and similar AI tools in assisting in our schoolwork. While I believe that the move is quite extreme, it's still okay. Why do you think it's okay? This is because the current curriculum of HKU does not support the use of an all-knowing, powerful chatbot and assistant to help us in our schoolwork. However, it is actually quite admirable that HKU has decided to take input from the students, the staff, and the faculty to incorporate our opinions. For instance, multiple workshops are to be hosted in the coming month where students will voice their opinions on these generative AI tools, and the HKU administration will listen to them and maybe even incorporate some of the ideas into changing the policies regarding the teaching and learning qualities related to AI. I believe this is a great initiative, as these tools have to be used, because only then are we able to move forward and develop ourselves. Honestly, this is not a good initiative at all. The reason is because current residency costs and rents in Hong Kong are very crazy high. For instance, renting a suite, single room studio may range from 10K to 15K HKD per month. Considering how this is vastly different from the rent in the dormitories, I believe this is quite unfair to the students, both locals and non-locals as well. For the locals, the worst case scenario, yes, they may not get readmitted and they may have to decide to live with their parents. But I believe this is unfair at the same time because they're missing out on the culture, the hall culture, and plus a lot of them do live quite far away, so the commutes may be quite difficult for them. And the story is completely different for the non-locals. After all, the ones who are not living in this country, if they do not get readmission, they would have to go for private residence, which is very expensive. Even with the bursary scheme, it's still not anywhere close to the rent expenses that we have to pay in the dormitories. So I believe HKU should actually look again at this policy. So the current members, the UG representatives of the current Senate are Gary and Sigmund. I actually had the opportunity to talk to Sigmund about the Senate election, and honestly, because of his input on his term, on how he functioned in the Senate, I believe I was able to learn a lot. And honestly, from the impression of it, I believe they want what's the best for HKU. I honestly wish them the best on their future endeavors. I would like to stress that the different voices of different international students are required in all governance structures of HKU. This is because with inclusion of diverse people in these levels, we can come up with better ideas. We can generate better ideas. They may be academic, they may be non-academic. And honestly, to achieve this goal, we have to include more diverse people in all levels of organizational structures in our university. Thank you.